to see a female he knew. And when he returned, he and his wife, the defendant, were in a verbal argument. The defendant told Mr. Allen to leave the house, and Mr. Allen began packing. The defendant then poured coffee and beer over Mr. Allen's clothing. At one point, the defendant threw a glass-scented candle, a wine bottle, and a beer bottle at Mr. Allen. One of these items, either the wine bottle or beer bottle, Mr. Allen couldn't state specifically, struck him on the lower left foot, causing a laceration. The officer, when they went into the residence, did observe broken beer bottles on the floor and saw blood stains on the wall. If you'll just give me a moment, I just want to make sure. We did have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Allen. He stated that they live together at that address. They do share a child. He further stated this is not the first time that the defendant has been violent toward him, but this is the first time he has gotten law enforcement involved. He stated the defendant has been calling him from the jail, that the defendant is being nice on the phone, but he's unsure how the defendant will act once or if she returns to the residence. Mr. Allen did state to our victim advocate he does not wish to have contact with the defendant, does not wish for her to return back to the residence, and he stated a third-party transfer is not necessary because the child is currently in Alabama with her grandmother. We would, to that end, like to ask for a signature bond through pretrial services, family violence intervention program, stay away from 3142 Imperial Circle Southwest, Atlanta, no further contact with Gabriel Allen, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Mr. Allen stated he will not be able to attend today, but we would like to still sound for him just in case he has changed his opinion.
Mr. Gabriel Allen is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Does not appear so. Is this your case, Ms. McLeod?
It is, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You can proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 26 years old. She has a degree and she's currently in nursing school. She is most concerned about her relationship with her child, of course. We are not opposed to the signature bond, Your Honor. And I also had the opportunity to speak with the husband, and he indicates that as far as he's concerned, their marriage is over. So we would like at least a one-time police escort back to this location so that my client can retrieve her belongings, because he also indicated to me that he did not want any further contact with my client. So we're fine with that, but she does have belongings at this location which she has to retrieve.
Okay. It'll be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Mr. Allen, stay away from the Imperial Circle address. She can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. If necessary in the future, third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. You're welcome. Good luck to you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Judge, I have petition number 17. Ms. Masters, next, please.
That was Ms. Brown who just went.
Yes, that was. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon, Ms. Masters. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, good afternoon.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am. You've been charged in case 23 CR 005749J with abandonment of dependent child and reckless conduct. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
No, appears to be first arrest.
Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. If we may also address position 8, that is the co-defendant on this case. The facts are the same as to both.
Okay, and position number 8
Mr.
is
Everest, Mark Everest.
Is Mr. Everest in courtroom 2?
Yes, Mr. Everest? Yeah. Okay, come have a seat right here in the green chair for me. Put your mask up.
Good afternoon, Mr. Everest. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Confirmed.
Thank you. Mr. Everest, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005741J with abandonment of dependent child and reckless conduct. Ms. Roberts, does Mr. Everest have a history?
No, first arrest.
And I know, Ms. McLeod, are you representing Ms. Masters?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, and who's representing Mr. Everest? Ms. Kim, is that your
Oh, that's
case?
actually Miss Abden. She's still interviewing her clients.
Okay. Well, we'll do what we can at this point in time. Go ahead, Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened Saturday, September 23rd, 2023. Officers at around 6:15 a.m. responded to a welfare check at 180 Jackson Street Northeast in Atlanta. Upon arrival, the officers found the door unlocked. After several knocks, they noticed no one had responded. The welfare check was as to a 5-month-old child at that address. The officers then entered the residence, did a quick search of the apartment, and discovered the 5-month-old child, A.E., asleep in the bedroom crib without any kind of supervision whatsoever. The child was breathing, did not show signs of indications of maltreatment, so the child was healthy. They reached out and made contact with both of the defendants. Defendant Everest stated he was at work at the Atlanta airport, received a message about the mother of his child, the co-defendant in this case, leaving and going to meet a person she met online in Ohio. When they reached out to Miss Defendant Masters, she stated she went out for a walk, but prior to leaving the house, she left the baby with Defendant Everest. Neither one of those statements were able to be confirmed as to who left who with the child, but at some point, both of them left the child alone. And so both were placed under arrest and the child was turned over to DFACS. The recommendation at this time, Your Honor, is a signature bond through pretrial as to both a parenting class, follow any recommendations of DFACS, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And for right now, we would ask for a stay away from AE unless it is otherwise ordered that they have contact with AE through DFACS. That's all for the state.
Yes, Ms. McLeod.
Your Honor, my client is 20 years old. AE is her only child. And of course, she has no kind of criminal history at all. She tells me that it was a total misunderstanding because she was under the impression that the child's father was still at the house when she went for a walk because he had just come back from work. She did not know that he had planned to leave. So she went for a walk, and it was only when she received the call from the police that she was aware that her child was at the house unaccompanied. Naturally, we're not opposed to the signature bond, Your Honor. My client is not currently employed, she tells me, and of course, she would want to have her child back in her care. So we are opposed to the no further contact with the child because I do not believe that that is necessary right now. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, so it's my understanding that the child is in DFACS custody. So if that's the case, I'm going to allow DFACS to handle this matter, and whatever they decide and whatever they order will be the order of the court also. So as far as Ms. Masters is concerned, it's going to be I'm sorry. Yes, is concerned, it's going to be a $1,000 each charge, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial. One parenting class, and to abide by any DFACS recommendations. And As far as Mr. Everest is concerned, I'm going to have to put my ruling. Mr. Everest, I'll be back to you. Your lawyer's not on the line. I want to give her the opportunity to address the court. So I will come back to you as soon as she's available to us so that she can make any or answer your questions that you seem to have and to make my ruling on your case. But as far as Ms. Masters is concerned, that's my ruling on her case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Masters.
Position number 20.
And someone put in the chat that Riles was going to be a waiver. Who's representing?
That was me. I thought that was the way I understood.
Okay, have you spoken with the client? Are you ready to move forward?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay, good
You know,
afternoon.
it's 2 Ryans. I'm sorry, it was 2 Ryans on the calendar. I have missed the conflict attorney Ryans in courtroom number 3. So this is Ms. McLeod, client, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I have a Riles, R-Y-A-L-S.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I apologize. That's my fault. I'm sorry, Judge.
No, you're fine. I just want to make sure we have the right person. Who do we have,
No,
Sergeant?
I have the wrong person.
Okay,
So I think it should have been Nicole Ryans on the calendar.
Nicole Ryans.
Yeah,
She's position 21.
21.
Yes.
Okay, it didn't print out right. I'm sorry. 21,
Okay.
Judge.
Okay, so this is Miss Nicole Ryans. Good afternoon, Miss Ryans. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. You've been charged in case 23 CR 005760C with theft by shoplifting. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
No, first arrest.
Yes, who's presenting for the state?
I'm presenting, Your Honor.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Thomas. You can proceed.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. One moment. Your Honor, the allegation is that Ms. Ryans on August the 2nd, 2023 was seen by Officer Fernandez exchanging the price and the label at Walmart located at 970 Mansell Road, Roswell, Georgia. The allegation is that she was seen on camera with 2 other individuals. The other individual being Kate Kelly was seen on the camera interchanging the label or price tag for one item of merchandise with a different sticky barcode labeled for a 50 cents 18-ounce tumbler. It is said that it was placed in the palm of the left hand of Miss N. Ryans, and that Miss M. Ryans was seen on camera helping Kate Kelly place the unscanned item into the shopping bag and then into the shopping cart. And they could be seen on camera handing over, to Miss M. Ryans a yellow transaction card to make the completed purchase. Your Honor, the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the jail, Your Honor, and a stay away from the incident location and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
So if okay with you, Ms. McLeod, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Walmart on Mansell Road and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you?
That suits us, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Ryans.
Thank you.
You're
Judge, you said a $2,000 signature bond?
A $2,000 signature bond through the jail.
Judge, I have position.
Hey, Judge Morrow, how you doing?
Position number 11, Judge.
Good afternoon. I hope you're well.
All right.
Good.
Position number 11, just, okay.
Okay, thank you. So this is Miss Celestine George.
Yes.
Yes, good afternoon, Miss George. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. George, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005744J with criminal trespass. Before Ms. Roberts goes, I want to make who's representing Ms. George? Ms. Abden?
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry, I just finished speaking with her. I think it would be best that this was handled in a breakout room due to MH.
Okay. Do you courtroom 3, do you want me to wait to go into that breakout room, or do you all want me to go in there and deal with Ms. George at the present time?
Can we deal with it now, Judge? I'm sorry. Thank you.
Say it again.
Can we deal with her now?
I still didn't hear you, Sergeant.
Now, Judge, I'm sorry.
Okay, so
sorry.
you, okay, no, I just want to make sure I do what y'all tell me to do, okay? So we'll go in and we'll do that. Do we have any other cases this afternoon that need a breakout room? If we do, I want to do those now. Okay, so we'll take a moment and go into a breakout room if that's what the sergeant wants, and we'll come back. So Ms. Falk, Ms. Abden, anyone else need to be in the breakout room? Ms. Kim?
Your Honor, if Mr. Thomas can go into the breakout as well.
And Mr. Thomas. Okay, so if you will place us into the breakout room, Ms. Grace, are you with me?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
It's them understood that I like to talk to.
Okay, Ms. George, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
I-
so,
The judge. Like,
yes, Ms. George, we've had an opportunity to talk about your case now. I'm gonna let you out. We're gonna give you a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. You have another court date on Friday, though. That's gonna be with the MH court, and Ms. Abden will talk to you about that after court today. Now, Ms. George, you cannot have any contact with Mr. Givens anymore, okay? And you can't go back to his address at the Attribute Drive, okay? So you can't go back there and you can't have any more contact with him. I understand that you're gonna be staying with your brother, right?
but they just told me that I can go back to recess for, and Tobias is forcing me to say that Cluster 7 is 12. And
Miss
Okay.
George, I'm gonna give you a call after court. We're gonna talk about that, okay?
That's why I
Okay.
told you to talk to her.
Okay.
I understand.
Okay, good luck to you, Miss George.
I've been under
Miss Abden's gonna call and talk to you, okay?
tremendous pressure. Well, the thing
Come on, Miss.
is, Tobias, for 4 months, he would have to give me a drink of water.
Miss George, I'm gonna give you a call after court. We're gonna talk about it, okay? Go have a seat, please.
The other two.
28, Judge.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
That's position 28, Judge Morrow.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Williams. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Ms. Williams?
He was on mute. I said yes.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Williams, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005758F with giving false information to law enforcement. Is there a history, Ms.
No.
Roberts?
No, first arrest.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Thomas.
Your Honor, the request from the state is signature bond through the jail. Your Honor, I'd also like to notate and note that the state has submitted no accusation drawn paperwork for the second charge, I believe, which is willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer.
Okay. And
if I could just ask Mr. Thomas to put the facts on the record, thank you.
Yes.
thank you, Ms. Falk.
One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, the facts are essentially that at the location of, I'm sorry, one moment. Officers responded to a loft hotel located at 7895 North Point Parkway in Alpharetta, Georgia. Upon arrival, they spoke with, or they met with the defendant. The defendant was told her belongings were in room 314. She was asked to verify her name and date of birth. The name that she gave was, one moment. Resi, Resichabor. It was later discovered that her actual name was, she was asked several times to clarify. It was later discovered that her actual name was Resi Williams, Your Honor. Nothing further from the state.
If okay with you, Ms. Kim, it's gonna be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
I apologize. Which Williams was this?
Position 28,
Okay,
Ms.
thank you.
Resi Williams.
You said $1,000 through the jail?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Williams.
I'm sorry, Judge, I have another charge on booking.
Yes, Mr. ASG Thomas said that was being NOD'd.
Okay, just wanted to make sure, thank you. Position
Okay.
29 is next, Judge. And ma'am, I can't go. $29, Judge, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. This is Vicky Williams.
Yes,
Yes, good afternoon,
Hi,
Ms.
how are you?
Williams. I'm
Good
Judge,
afternoon.
good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 005759F with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
3 cycles. Last arrest was in 2010 out of Clayton County for criminal trespass. 1 conviction from 91 for simple battery. Nothing further.
Mr. Thomas?
The facts of this case is that officers arrived at 5321 Hennessy Circle in reference to a domestic dispute. While there, they made contact with the victim in this case, the victim being Anthony Taylor. The victim advised that his spouse, Miss Vicky Williams, and he were having, were having an altercation. During said altercation, the defendant struck the victim in the jaw, causing pain, but no swelling or bruising, and that the two live in the same household, Your Honor. The recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services.
Okay, and let's see if Mr. Taylor, Anthony Taylor is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. I'll get back to him, Ms. Falk, and ask
Thank
him
you, Your
additional-
Honor,
I'll
for
ask
any
him additional-
conditions. Yes, thank
Okay, I'll ask him additional questions.
Yes, I'm here.
You have Keith Thomas on your screen, but you are Anthony?
Anthony Keith Taylor, that's my
Taylor,
first name is
yes.
Anthony, yes.
Okay, yes, Mr. Taylor, if you would like to address the court, can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes,
Okay, do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
Yes, over the last month or so, I've been receiving threatening messages from her. She's not
Your
my
Honor,
spouse.
objection,
She's
that
a
has nothing to
live-in
do with this
girlfriend.
case, irrelevant.
Ms. Kim, you know that in this court, I hear what people want to tell me, and I'll take that into consideration for both the defense and for the state. So I appreciate your objection, but I'm going to have Mr. Taylor tell the court what he'd like to tell me. Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
Yes, for the last month or so, she has been sending threatening messages towards me, stating she's going to take me down after, we decided to leave the relationship over a year ago. And she supposed to be moving out of the residence quietly and calmly. However, it has not been the case. She's been very verbally abusive and also threatening messages, which I have on my phone, which I presented to the South Fulton Police as they have been to the home in the last 3 times in the last 3 weeks. Fearing for my safety, I had them meet me at the home. They looked at the emails or text messages, and basically they said at that time it wasn't physical. However, I do have guns in the home. And I was just fearing for my safety, and that's the reason I called. So they talked to both of us and let it go at that point. However, the verbal arguments started even more, stating stated that she was going to take me down. When she leaves, she's going to call my job and tell them that I use drugs. The whole gamut. Stated she's telling neighbors that I'm gay. She's very combative. She has gotten into 2 fights with her daughters because this fight here, what happened Saturday, she got mad at her daughter because
Really
her daughter
objection,
told her
Your
to get
Honor.
out of
This
my
is
room.
really going
And she was in my
beyond.
room bothering me. And I told her to get out. And her daughter came up there and
We
said,
have
"Hey,
to,
mommy, get out of my room. Leave me alone."
please,
And I
Your
have it
Honor, this
recorded
is,
on my
I
I have it
do,
recorded on
out
my
of all
phone.
the respect, it is really out of the case that we have in front of us. Please
This
focus.
is a part of the
We
case.
would like to redirect his,
Well, he's been, I believe he said this is what happened. I take it that this is the 23rd. That would have been Saturday. He
Yes.
just said
Yeah.
this is what happened on
Yes.
Saturday, and he's telling me
Yes.
what happened that led to this alleged simple battery. So I don't
Yes.
understand how you would think that that's out of the bounds of what we're talking about here. So go ahead. Go
Yes.
ahead, Mr. Taylor.
So as the daughter was trying to get her to leave my room, she started to verbally abuse her daughter, and they went downstairs. And I thought it would be over. However, I went downstairs, and they were in the garage fighting each other. Now I have it all recorded. Showed the
Okay,
officers
tell
and
me
everything.
what
At that
happened.
time, I
Mr.
was at
Taylor,
that
Mr.
time
Taylor, Mr.
came
Taylor,
out the door and
Mr.
saw them
Taylor.
fighting each
Okay,
other,
okay,
and
Mr. Taylor.
again,
I'm willing to listen to you, Mr. Taylor, but tell me what happened to you, okay?
I was
You have
as I
the
came out the
alleged simple
door.
battery.
Yes, as I came out the door, as they were, at each other's neck, destroying property, I was like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? What's going on?" When I came out there, and then she struck me in the face and then charged me. And, and I'm, you know, and I had called the police right away, and they came to the home. Actually, she went ahead and left in a hurry, and the police came within about 15 minutes. Spoke with the police regarding what happened, and showed them the evidence on my what I recorded on my video, and they went inside to ask and talk to her daughter, and asked her daughter quite clearly, "Hey, what happened?" And she didn't
Okay,
respond. She said
so
nothing.
I've got enough information, Mr. Taylor. So
Okay.
you don't want to have anything to do with her right now. Does she have a reason to be at the Hennessy Circle address?
No, she does not. I do not
Okay,
want her to come back.
all right. So does she have any belongings that are still at the Hennessy Circle
Yes, she
address?
does.
Okay, so I'm going to allow her to come back with law enforcement only to retrieve her belongings. But other than that, she's to have no further contact with you, and she's to stay away from the Hennessy Circle address, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, so.
Now, if
and
we could,
I'll-
in addition, ask for no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and
Okay.
also ask for a family violence intervention program completion.
Okay, I'm not going to do that at this point in time, but Ms. Kim, thank you, Mr. Taylor. We appreciate you being here this afternoon. Anything further, Ms. Kim, that you would like to say?
well, it was Mr. Anthony Taylor who grabbed my client's neck first. So we deny the allegation as first aggressor for my client. We have no objection to stay away, no further contact, and SOB PTS. Thank you.
Okay, so it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Mr. Taylor, stay away from the Hennessy Circle address. She can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that she might have there, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Ms. Williams, let me explain to you what no contact means. No contact means absolutely no contact. No phone contact, no email contact, no text contact, no social media contact. If you're in contact with Mr. Taylor whatsoever, you'll be in violation of this bond and it will be subject to being revoked, okay? All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Williams. Good luck to you also, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
So I know that you all probably know this. I don't know courtroom 2 or courtroom 3. We have Madam Interpreter on the line. I believe that she's here for position number 18. So whenever you all have the opportunity, she may be in need of or they may be in need of speaking with the client. Ms. Kim appears before the hearing. Good afternoon, Ms. Chansey.
Good afternoon, sir.
Who do we have next?
Position number 1, Judge.
Good afternoon, Ms. Andrews. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ms. Andrews, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005734H with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
First arrest.
Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This happened September 23rd, 2023 at 2148 Stone Road, Apartment 4 in East Point. Unique Doriso, who was living with the defendant, stated that the defendant scratched her, leaving visible scratch marks on her neck. Ms. Doriso, leaving visible scratch marks on her arms, excuse me. Officers saw the visible scratch marks. The defendant also had scratch marks, but the defendant was identified by the officers as the predominant aggressor in this situation. As it is Ms. Andrews' first arrest, the state is going to request a signature bond through pretrial services. Stay away from 2148 Stone Road, Apartment 4 in East Point. No further contact with Unique Doriso. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We are also requesting family violence intervention program. We would, just a moment, Your Honor. We did try to reach out to Ms. Doriso, but we were unable to reach her. If we could sound for Ms. Doriso at this time, Your Honor.
And if Ms. Unique Doriso is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Does not appear so, Ms. Falk. Ms. Abden?
Thank you, Your Honor. My client's 36 years old, born in Georgia, lived here her whole life. She has her GED. She's also gainfully employed. She's a driver for Lyft and Uber. She's been doing that for the past 7 years. It's my understanding that Unique Doriso, the complaining witness, is in a relationship with my client. She's from California. She's not from Georgia, so she does not reside at this address, the 2418 Stone Road, Apartment 4, full-time. That is my understanding. I also did try to contact her. My client tells me that this was a misunderstanding, that she was the one who called the police. And that day, her friend's brother passed away. She was grieving. She's already missed the ceremony and she'd like to return home so she can go be with her friend and grieve that properly. And so since she's recommended, I believe it is her first arrest, I'm requesting a signature bond through the jail. I'm also objecting to the family violence intervention program. And the stay away, that's her home, that's where she resides. And we would ask for no further violent contact, but I understand that Ms. Doriso is not here. So if a no further contact is necessary, then my client would be able to abide by that.
And Your Honor, my apologies, Your Honor. Based on the police report, it actually says that they have lived together for 1 year. So that is what my understanding is based on the police report. Unfortunately, without Mr. Doriso to say otherwise, we have to rely on the information provided in the police report that the two of them have lived at this address for 1 year.
Okay, so Ms. Abden, I'm going to allow her to go back to that address with law enforcement. If Ms. Doriso is not living there, then she can reside there. If Ms. Doriso is living there, then she'll have to collect her belongings and find a different place to reside, okay? Until there's some clarification from Ms. Doriso. So it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Doriso, what I've already stated as far as the stay away, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay? Good luck to you, Ms. Andrews.
Position number 2, Judge.
Good afternoon, Ms. Bennett. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Ms. Bennett, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005735D with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
5 cycles. Last arrest was August 25th of this year. It said VA medical control for assault. That case appears to be open. A DUI conviction 2013 out of Ohio, and a driving while license suspended or revoked conviction in 2017. And nothing further.
Ms. Roberts, what was the charge for the open case?
Assault.
Assault? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Yes, Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor, and
So I'm sorry, I apologize, Ms. Falk. Ms. Ross, I believe it is, you're gonna have to mute yourself because we can hear you. So can we thank you. I apologize, Ms. Falk, go ahead.
Totally understand. If, Your Honor, if pretrial can let me know the case number on that open assault, I didn't show it in our information from Fulton County's case intake.
It's not out of Fulton County.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. Thank you so much, pretrial.
You're welcome.
So this incident, Your Honor, happened September 23rd, 2023 at 1097 Fortress Avenue Southwest in Atlanta. Miss Caitlin Russo stated that the defendant was sleeping on her front porch. The defendant had previously been issued a criminal trespass citation from that location on September 22nd. As you heard, the defendant is a multi-state offender with offenses out of Ohio, Virginia, Florida, and 3 arrests here in Georgia. We did not, it does not look like, have an opportunity to speak with the victim in this case, who is Miss Russo. However, we would like to sound for her. Also, additionally, I believe this is one of the cases that we referred to PAD, and there is a PAD person here today. I just need to determine whether she has been accepted for PAD prior to making any sort of recommendation, Your Honor.
Is the PAD representative with us?
It should be, I believe I just saw her here, Your Honor. It should be Jackie Patterson. Miss Patterson, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry about that. Good morning, good afternoon. I have not had the opportunity to speak with this defendant as of yet.
Okay, so in lieu of her being accepted into PAD, at this time, the state would recommend a signature bond through pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Stay away from the address at 2148 Stone Road, apartment 1097 Fortress Avenue Southwest in Atlanta. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no further contact with Miss Caitlin Russo. If we do receive information, we would ask as a condition of that bond that she be that within 72 hours she report to PAD. If she does determine if she does accept PAD, we will move forward with our normal protocol from there.
Ms. Abnett, any objection to any of that?
Just that the signature bond be through the jail. I understand she has 5 minor children who she cares for. She's also a pastor. She did serve in the military. She was honorably discharged. And I understand the concern regarding the open cases, but they are still open. She does maintain her innocence in those cases. And I do have an address and telephone number for her. So she will be returning to court.
Okay. So pending PAD approval, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Miss Caitlin Russo. Stay away from the 1097 Fortress Avenue address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Miss Bennett.
Position number 5.
This is Ms. Kayla Davis. Good afternoon, Ms. Davis. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. Good afternoon, ma'am. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Ms. Davis, did you hear me? We're
Yes,
doing
I
this.
do,
Okay,
Your Honor.
okay. Thank you, Ms. Davis. You've been charged in case 23 CR 005738G with two counts, well, with one count of simple assault and one count of simple battery. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
4 cycles. Last arrest was October of 2022 for driving without a valid license. That case was bound over. She has 1 conviction from 2021 for driving while license suspended or revoked, and nothing further.
Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened September 24th, 2023 at 1079 North Avenue Northeast in Atlanta. The defendant was in a verbal altercation with Imad Siddiqui. The defendant swung at Mr. Siddiqui with a closed fist, walked away, came back, getting into Mr. Siddiqui's face and spitting in his face. Mr. Siddiqui then used his arm to strike the defendant in self-defense to get her away from him, and then stepped away from the defendant. The defendant then attempted to hit Mr. Siddiqui with a closed fist and picked up a wood log to strike Mr. Siddiqui, but Mr. Siddiqui was able to stop her. And if Your Honor will just give me a moment, I just want to make sure. We did have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Siddiqui. He works at the gas station Buddies, which is the incident location. He stated the defendant was trying to pay for gas. Her card kept being declined. She began to get upset at him, yelling racial slurs at him, got into his face, spit in his face, and then picked up a wooden log and attempted to hit him. He also stated that the officers issued this defendant a criminal trespass and she is not allowed to return back to the location. He wants no contact with her and for her to stay away from the location. And he stated he would not be able to be present here on Zoom today. So for that reason, the state is requesting, as we had previously stated, a signature bond through pretrial services, stay away from Buddies at 1079 North Avenue Northeast in Atlanta, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no further contact whatsoever with Imad Siddiqui. And I can put that name into the chat for our litigation manager.
Okay, thank you. And just in case if Mr. Siddiqui is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Ms. Abden, any objection to any of Ms. Falk's requests?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm requesting that the signature bond be through the jail. She has very limited criminal history. Sounds like it's just traffic offenses. She also has very strong ties to the community. She volunteers every week at Mercy Care. She's a chef. She helps with underprivileged kids. She has 2 jobs, and she tells me that she firmly denies these allegations. She was not the first aggressor. She's the one who called the police. She was afraid of Mr. Siddiqui. She's okay with a stay away and no further contact. But I am requesting that be through the jail, Your Honor.
It's going to be $2,000 for the simple assault, $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the simple battery, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. Makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial. 1-day anger awareness. Stay away from Buddies at 1079 North Avenue. No further contact with Mr. Siddiqui, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Davis.
What pretrial would be as far as the, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to understand as far as what exactly is.
Ms. Abden can explain that to you after court today, Ms. Davis, okay?
Ms. Davis, I will contact you, but it's still a signature bond. Okay?
Position number 9.
Good afternoon, Ms. Freeman. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ms. Freeman, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005742Y with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
3 cycles, last arrest December of 2022 for battery. That case was no pros. And then a 2022 conviction for driving without a valid license. Nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident happened August 25th of 2023. There was an incident at 2280 Campbellton Road Southwest, apartment 404. Officers spoke with Miss Kathy Gideon. Miss Gideon stated her alarm woke her up, and then her girlfriend, the defendant, also woke up and began arguing with her. Miss Gideon stated that the defendant was yelling about her talking to other people, and then bit her and struck her in the back of the head. There was a witness, Berjonia Brumari, who was also in the apartment. Miss Brumari stated she heard yelling and went to see what was going on and saw the defendant put her hands on Miss Gideon, and then they got into a fight. Miss Gideon did not have visible injuries that the officer was able to observe. And as I stated, the two of them lived together. The state's recommendation on this offense is a signature bond through pretrial services. Stay away from the address, which is located at 2280 Campbellton Road Southwest, apartment 404 in Atlanta. No further contact with Kathy Gideon, and I will put that name in the chat for the litigation manager. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We are also requesting family violence intervention program based on that previous dismissed battery and her history. We do have some concerns in that regard. Additionally, we have spoken to the victim in this case. She stated that they are in a relationship. They do live together at that address. She stated the situation escalated and they have been living together since the address. However, I do want to point out that she is the victim in the previous case, which was that 22 CR, and let me just get the whole number for your honor, 008092G. So there has been some previous history between the two that I want the court to take note of. And that case was dismissed in March of 2023. And this incident happened less than 6 months later. That's all for the state, your honor. And we would like to sound for Miss Gideon.
If Ms. Gideon is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so.
Hi, I'm here.
Yes. I've gotten some feedback. Do you have more than one device on? Okay.
No, I just have one.
Okay. And you're under Cassidy Roberts' name? Are you Miss Kathia Gideon?
Yes, that's my daughter's name.
Oh, okay. Can you raise your right hand for me, ma'am? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, yes. What would you like to tell the court?
So with this situation, like I advised the person who called me earlier today, it did escalate. Like she did, the last woman that was just speaking, we did have an incident previously in December. And since then, like since Shabi was released in December, she really has changed. And I'm not saying that to cover up for her as the, still being the victim, but she really has changed where she goes to church every Sunday. She got baptized. And even if like when we get into like arguments, she's always the one that tries to talk it out, where opposed to me, I'm the one that like I'll shut down and I don't want to talk. With that situation, it is exactly like as far as like us waking up in the morning, she was arguing. That was the argument. And when we spoke upon it, because we have spoken about the situation, she has fixed the damage that she has caused in the house, which was to the internet box when she was storming out of the house. Because usually when we get into arguments and it's about to escalate, she does just leave and then she'll take a breather and then she'll come up to speak. But she did pay for the damaged internet box. And then when we spoke on that situation, she was stating that she bit me because I was biting her. I did bite her, but I didn't know it went in that way because like I said, it wasn't a heat of the moment. So things were just happening. And then once the situation happened, I did call the police. My cousin was here as it was stated on that police report. And my cousin, she did see that, we were in the biting situation. But before then and even after then, she goes to church every Sunday. I do have 2 kids, one who is autistic. He's 2 years old and he's been in his life since he's been born. I technically work 3 jobs. My first 2 jobs I work from home from 8 to 5. And usually she'll be with my son basically from that time. And then she goes to work once I get off at 5 o'clock. She goes to work at 7 o'clock. Like, so she's always like active. So her not being here, it would really be hard for me. And it's not like she's a nuisance. Like, she doesn't just live here and it's like arguments. Since December, we do not argue. Like, it's never been something more escalated. Unfortunately, it was just something that escalated on both ends. And even like with her not even being here, like yesterday, Sunday, I know they was probably asking about her at church. I didn't get to go, but because I was at work, but I'm pretty sure they were asking like, where has she been? Because since she got baptized in May, she doesn't really try to argue, or like she always like try to find a way to lower or like calm down, whether if it's her walking away, whether it's her opening her Bible. Like, she honestly doesn't really get into fights with me anymore as it was in December. But that's all I have to say within that situation.
Your
Okay,
Honor, if I may just make a brief inquiry, I promise I'll make it short.
Go ahead, Ms. Falk.
Ms. Gideon, let me just ask you a question. How long have you been with the defendant at this point?
Since October 2021.
And have you been together continuously during that time?
Yes.
Okay, do you recall speaking to our victim advocate back in March and indicating the defendant is your ex-girlfriend and you had not had contact with her or seen or heard from her since the incident in 2022?
That was in the December thing because we had a no contact. We was not supposed to be in communication, so we weren't speaking.
Okay, so other than that time that you just stated, you're saying that you had been in continuous contact with the exception of that time. Is that what you're saying now?
Yes.
And was she your ex-girlfriend at that time? Because you seem to have indicated just previously that you two had been in a continuous relationship since 2021.
Yes, but of course at that time she was not my girlfriend because we had literally had that incident in December. We had a no contact order. We weren't speaking, and me and her didn't speak until it got lifted. So that's why I say continuous, but yes, there was a gap due to, of course, that incident that happened in December.
That's all my questions, Ms. Gideon. Thank you so much.
Okay, and this incident allegedly happened in August of this year. And since August, have you all been together?
Yeah, she lives here, and it's like that routine of what I told you. Like, she lives here, we share a car, she's always with my son. Like, she goes to work, she goes to church, she's been in the household ever since that situation. Like I said, she did leave after it got escalated and it heated up. And then she left for like, I'll say like for that night, and then she returned back and we spoke on it. And then since then she's been here.
How old are the children?
My daughter's 7 and Kai's 2.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ms. Abden?
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to clarify. So the case that we were talking about, the previous case, has been null prost. It's my understanding that my client did take an anger awareness class as part of that case, although it was dismissed. And I think that's kind of what Ms. Gideon was alluding to, is ever since that incident, she's made a lot of changes in her life. She also told me that when they did get into the fight back in August, the facts of this case we're talking about now, she did leave the house, tried to cool off. I think that the previous case and the previous incident really made an impact on her, and she's dealing with her anger much better now and differently. As you've heard from Ms. Gideon, it sounds like she does want to have no further violent contact with my client. Sounds like my client takes care of her child, and she's required in the household to help with that. She is gainfully employed. She is 29 years old, I apologize. And I'm requesting that Your Honor consider a signature bond through the jail to allow her to return home to her family. And no further violent contact. I'm not sure if the state requested anything else. Maybe I missed it. I think it was the Family Violence Intervention Program, which I would object to.
And Your Honor, I believe that based on the previous incident and the current incident, it's sorely needed.
Well, we're not sentencing her at this time, Your Honor. These are just allegations at this time.
And this family violence intervention program is perfectly permissible for Your Honor to order as part of a bond condition. It is not part of sentencing.
When I do this, Miss Gideon, would you come back on camera for me, please?
Yes.
Okay, just let me say this, and I say this every time I hear this with Ms. Freeman, Ms. Gideon, y'all are grown folk, right? But you tell me you have a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old. That's who I'm most concerned about. You know, people sitting up in jail like this on a continuous basis, you know, you all can do what you want to do, but you have a responsibility to these 2 minor children. The trauma that must be being inflicted on them, seeing and hearing all this, you know, y'all should just, well, even if they don't see it or hear it, they know it. They're 7 and 2. Y'all need to take that into account. Really, you need to take it into account. So I'm going to give you a signature bond through pretrial, Ms. Freeman, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Gideon, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. That won't ever happen again if I see you in my court again. You understand what I'm saying? And that's for the safety of the children. Good luck to you both.
Judge Morrow, what was the amount on the,
It's a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. Did you get that, Ms. Strong?
yes, and did
Okay.
you say the anger awareness or,
Oh, yes, 1-day anger awareness also.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, I'm ready for the breakout section now with the interpreter case in courtroom 3, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. And is that with Ms. Kim and let's see, and Ms. Chancey there? So if you can place Ms. Kim, Madam Interpreter, into courtroom 3, and then I guess we'll go to courtroom 2 and begin in courtroom 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
Judge.
Your Honor, if at all
Yes.
possible, can we circle back to Mr. Evereest's case,
Disregard.
position number 8, if possible, since Ms. Abden is back?
Okay. If that's okay with courtroom 2.
Yes, Judge Morrow, that's fine.
Okay.
Mr. Everett, come on up. Good afternoon, Judge Morrow.
Good afternoon again, Francois and Norris. I think he's back in there now. He's gone from courtroom to courtroom. All right. Hope you all are well this afternoon, as always.
Thank you. You are too.
Good, yes. And let's see, Ms. Abden, we went through the facts and I had Mr. Evereest come sit, and it was my understanding that this is his first arrest. Ms. Falk, tell me, what was the position? Was that that was Ms. Masters, position number 17?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Abden, I gave Ms. Masters, who was first arrest, also a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial on each charge, a parenting class, and to abide by any defects orders. My inclination, given that this is Mr. Evereest's first arrest, would be to do the same for him. Although he did have his hand up, I told him we'd come back to him, given that you weren't here. So if he has any questions that need to be answered, or if anyone else needs to put anything on the record, I'll allow you to do that now.
Thank you, Your Honor. My only objection would be to the class and that signature bond being through the jail. It's my understanding that my client went to work. He was under the impression that she would be with the child, and he firmly denies these allegations. This is his first arrest. He's gainfully employed with Delta. He's been living here in Georgia. He moved here for work. And so, Your Honor, I am requesting a less restrictive bond for my client, and he will abide by any DFACS orders.
Ms. Falk, anything further?
Your Honor, I mean, not to be cute, but what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I feel that whatever was recommended and whatever Your Honor ordered for the co-defendant should be ordered for Mr. Everest.
Okay, and that was my initial intent. And Ms. Admin, I'm going to, and I agree that given the circumstances, I am going to order the same for Mr. Everest, $1,000 signature bond per charge through pretrial, which makes it a total of a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, one parenting class, and abide by any DFACS recommendations. And of course, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Everest.
Position 22, Simpson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Simpson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Simpson, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005753A with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
2 cycles. Last arrest is from 2007 for family violence battery. That case was not on docket. And nothing further.
Yes, Mr. Thomas.
Your Honor, the facts of the case is that the defendant and the victim arrived at a police station in regards to an incident that happened in a vehicle at 800 Sidney Marcus Boulevard, Atlanta, Georgia, 30324. The victim stated that the two got into an argument about the defendant dating other people. The victim also stated that the defendant got upset and punched the victim with a closed fist to her right ear. Victim complained of her right ear, ringing in her right ear. Your Honor, at this time, I believe we have had contact with the victim. I believe the victim is on the call. The victim's name is Rosiana Demons, if we can sound for her, but the recommendation from the state, Your Honor, is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim, a stay away. The incident location was in a vehicle, but a stay away from her address listed as 2738 Elkmont Ridge, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30331. In addition to that stay away, Your Honor, it would be we would be requesting a family violence intervention program as well. But at this time, if we can sound for the victim.
And is this Ms. Demons on the iPhone here?
Yes.
Yes, good afternoon, ma'am. If you can raise your right hand for me. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
That's it.
Okay, do you want, do you all live together at the present time, Ms. Demons?
Yes.
Okay, and do you want him back in the household or not?
I need his help. I really do, Your Honor.
Well, this doesn't have to do with his help. This has to do with whether or not this has happened before, and whether or not you're afraid of him and you want him back there.
I'm not afraid of him, but I don't want no violence.
Okay, has there been violence in the past?
Yes.
There has been?
Yes.
Okay, and how long have you all lived together?
Well, our oldest child is 18.
Okay, and how many children do you have?
5.
And what are their ages?
18, 17, 16, 5, and a 10-year-old.
Okay. You want to tell me what happened?
I was doing Uber Eats, and I was picking up. I had picked up 2 orders or whatever,
and I had done delivered one order. So he gets a call from the a female that he messes with, and he was on the phone talking to her. So I was just showing him how that feel to talk to somebody while you in front of somebody that was disrespectful. So I called somebody, but it wasn't nobody that I deal with. It was an old friend. And when the person got on the phone and he was stating that you could have had somebody real, but instead you rather deal with your baby father. And he just went crazy from there.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ms. Demons. I think you told me what I need to know. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. We are not opposed to the signature bond, Your Honor. We are also not opposed to what the court may order in terms of contact. My client tells me that he actually works about 3 hours away and in another county, well outside of Atlanta. He has a job there, which he has to go to, Your Honor. He's 40 years old, and I believe he's only been arrested once. He denies that there was any violence between them, and he said that he told the officer that. And we'd also like to state that the office in the report also says he saw no physical interest to the alleged victim, Your Honor.
Okay. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Demons, stay away from her address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. If there are children that he'd like to visit that are his children, then there will be third-party contact for visitation with the children. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Your Honor, may we ask, considering that an adult, 18, whether that older child could be the facilitator?
That's fine with me, Ms. McLeod.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Good luck to you, Mr. Simpson.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Position 19, Mr. Ross.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ross. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Courtroom 2, you're on mute.
Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ross, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005751F with simple battery, family violence, and simple battery against a person who was pregnant at the time of the offense. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
10 cycles, last arrest 2016 for FTA, 2 possession of marijuana less than an ounce convictions, 2011 and 1995, and a theft by taking in 89, and nothing further.
Thank you. Mr. Thomas?
Your Honor, the allegation is that the officers responded to a dispute call at 1676 Maldo Drive, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30218. While at the location, officers spoke with the victim, who advised that she was assaulted by her uncle and his son, Chase Ross. Victim advised that Chase and her were cleaning the restroom, at which point a dispute broke out, and that Mr. Ross pushed her, and that the defendant kicked her in the stomach, eventually causing her to lose balance, at which point both Chase and Eric Ross, the father, got on top of her and started punching her in the face. Victim advised that she was concerned because at the time she was 9 months pregnant, and she was concerned for the child, and that she would later go have everything checked out. Her fiance at the time heard the commotion, came out of the room, attempted to break up the fight, where he also witnessed the 2 individuals punching his fiance, the victim, in the face at the time. The victim is Antrika Ross, Antrica Ross. I believe she is on the call at this time, and if we could sound for her, but the recommendation from the state is a $5,000 surety bond, $3,000 on the battery family violence, and $2,000 on the battery against a pregnant female, a stay away from the incident location, a no contact, and 1 anger management course. And if at this time, Your Honor, we can sound for Ms. Antrika Ross.
Okay, I'll do that, Mr. Thomas. I have two simple batteries and not 2 batteries.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's a simple battery family violence and a simple battery against a pregnant.
Right, okay. I just want to make sure. If Ms. Antrika Ross is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Is Ms. Ross with us?
Yes,
Okay, can you activate your camera for me, Ms. Ross?
yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'm not sure how to get my video back on.
Okay, there you go, Ms. Ross. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes,
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes,
Okay, you can put your hand down. Yes, ma'am. What would you like to tell me?
yes. I just want to tell you that I don't fear anyone but God. But now that that has happened to me, I don't feel safe with me and my child, him being around me and my child at their residence.
Okay, who is Eric Ross to you, ma'am?
That's my uncle.
Okay, and does he live at or do you both live at the Maldo Drive address?
Yes,
Okay, and how many children are at that location?
1.
Okay, and it's my understanding that you are pregnant at the present time?
Yes, I'm at the doctor's office right now.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to tell me, ma'am?
Yes, earlier this morning I went and took out a TPO, a temporary protective order against Mr. Ross,
Okay,
and the judge granted that.
okay, all right. Anything further?
Yes, about Chase Ross, I'm trying to see what I know he's not on this case right here, but I want to see how can I take legal action against him as well.
Okay, you'll have to talk with the solicitor's office about that, Ms. Antrika. But as far as Eric Ross goes, anything further that you'd like to tell me about that?
Yes, I just don't think those charges are accurate or simple battery against a pregnant woman. Him intentional, I'm 9 months pregnant and I'm big as ever, and him intentionally kicking me in my stomach, busting my lip. Those charges are I just don't understand them, but I just wish and hope that you guys grant him to never come back around me, ever.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, if I could just briefly ask a question.
Yes, Mr. Thomas.
Miss Ross, can you tell us what happened as a result of being kicked in the stomach?
What you mean? What happened?
As it relates to your unborn child?
I was hospitalized. I had to go to the hospital. My ultrasound came back a 6 out of 8, and it usually be an 8 out of 8 due to the fetus not breathing normal. So I'm at the hospital now, at the doctor's office now, about to be seen.
Sorry to hear that, Miss Ross. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 54 years old. As the trial has stated, he has absolutely no history of any kind of violence. He tells me he's gainfully employed by the city of Atlanta. He absolutely denies that he kicked Miss Ross or even attacked her in any way. He said she and his son were having an argument. His son does not live at the location. His son was visiting, who happens to be her cousin. They were having an argument. He overheard them arguing, and he just went inside to separate them. He said he would never hit any woman, and it is he said that, who was pregnant in her stomach. He absolutely denied anything, Your Honor. This man is 54 years old. This is his niece. He has no history of violence. So I would ask the court to consider giving him a signature bond so he can get out of jail. If the court deems that he cannot go back to this location, which he tells me is the family home, he tells me he's lived in there all his life. It was his parents' home and he's always lived there. If the court deems that he cannot go there, we would like a one-time police escort so he can get his belongings, Your Honor, and he's okay with no further contact with Ms. Ross.
Okay. With a simple battery, family violence, a $1,500 good bond. For the simple battery against a person who is present, a $1,500 good bond makes for a total of a $3,000 good bond. No further contact with Miss Antrika Ross. Stay away from the Maldo Drive address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to you. You're welcome. Good luck to you, Mr. Ross.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I don't have any pay in this matter? Monthly? Or wait, do we get paid weekly?
Ms. McLeod, can you answer any questions that he has after court today? I can't really hear him.
This is just your bond hearing, Mr. Ross.
From 1,000 to 1,200. Okay.
And you can always give me a call. I'd be happy to address any other questions you have.
Position number 7, Mr. Denton.
Yes. 600.
Good afternoon, Mr. Denton. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Right.
Thank you. Mr. Denton, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005739A with criminal trespass and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
Yes, 57 cycles. Last arrest was April of this year for a failure to appear. He has 8 criminal trespass convictions between 2008 and 2019. A criminal trespass and willful obstruction conviction in 2020. Disorderly conduct convictions 2018, 2019. Possession of marijuana less than an ounce and possession and use of drug-related objects 2017. Possession of cocaine 2013, 2011, and 2 in 2009. And then 3 other FTAs 2019, 2018, and 2009. And nothing further.
Ms. Funk?
Your Honor, first I would like to inquire with PAD if they have had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Denton. He was one of the persons that we recommended for PAD services. And I believe Ms. Eris is here from PAD. So if we could just inquire with her.
Is she on with us, Ms. Funk?
Yeah, Your Honor, I messaged her just a moment ago. It sounds
Okay.
like somebody else from PAD is the one that's doing the interviews today. She's checking and she'll let us know.
Yeah, I just asked that she should be getting back on Jackie Patterson, but from what she told me is she hadn't had a chance to speak with Mr. Barring.
With Mr. Denton?
Oh yeah, sorry, Mr. Denton. She hadn't had a chance to speak with him.
Okay. So Your Honor, I just needed to know that before I went into the recommendation. This incident happened September 23rd, 2023 at 343 Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard, Atlanta, Circle K. Mr. Insha Rajkumar, who is the store manager, stated the defendant continues to come in and bother customers. The defendant has had numerous incidents at the location on 9/26 for criminal trespass, and which was last year, and March 6th for theft by shoplifting. The officer made contact with the defendant, who attempted to place him into custody. The defendant tried to run from the officer. We again are referring this individual to PAD. However, in the interim, until we can kind of get a result, we are recommending a signature bond through pretrial services. Stay away from the Circle K at 343 Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard in Atlanta. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. No further contact with Mr. Insha Raj Kumar, and I will put his name in the chat to the litigation manager. We would be agreeable to following PAD's protocol if he does enter into PAD within 72 hours of his release today. So we are asking as a condition that he go to and report to PAD within 72 hours, or if they are able to enroll him today, we will follow PAD's protocol for how to handle this case once we have confirmation of that. That's all for the state.
Okay, Ms. Abden?
Your Honor, I don't have an objection to that. It's my understanding that PAD still needs to speak with Mr. Denton. I do know that he is residing with his mom at this time. He does have a stable residence. He did provide me with a good mailing address. His indigency is a concern, Your Honor. I do understand the state requested a signature bond through pretrial, and I would not object to that. Just so I understand, are we requesting that he wait for PAD? Because I would object to that.
No, I'm stating that he be released and report to PAD within 72
Perfect.
hours to see if he would like to enter into PAD. He is not obligated to. It's just to see if he can be screened and would like to enter into the program.
Thank you for the clarification. That's all I wanted to know. So we don't object to that at all.
Is it possible for us to call and speak with him now? That way, we can have an answer before the court is over.
I guess we could call the, can we get whomever to call courtroom 2? Can we put Mr. Denton on the phone line with, who is it, Miss Patterson? Courtroom 2?
I'm sorry, go ahead, Judge, repeat that again, please.
Can we put Mr. Denton on the phone so he can speak with Miss Patterson?
Okay.
Okay, do you have the, say it again?
What was the bond amount?
I haven't gotten to the bond yet.
Okay.
I'm
sorry, I stepped away, Judge, my bad.
Okay, you're fine. Miss Patterson, do you have the phone number for courtroom 2?
Ms. French, Officer Francois, is it the same number that I just called a moment ago when I talked to Mr. Lawson?
We have somebody else talking. One of Ms. Kim's clients is on the phone, so you can call 404-612-2391.
No.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, and so in the meantime, if we don't get back to him, it's going to be a $2,000 $1,000 per charge, so a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. Stay away from the Circle K, Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard. No further contact with Mr. Raj Kumar. And report to PAD within 72 hours. Okay. So who do we have next? No, drugs, alcohol, or weapons also for Mr. Denton.
Ms. Patterson, you can go back and call the 2392 now. It is available.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. We can actually do the Spanish interpreter case. That's going to be Machaca position. Oh, actually, yeah, position number 14, Machaca.
Posición 14, Machaca.
He's coming.
Ms. Chance, if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm you will interpret from Spanish to English and English to Spanish to the best of your ability?
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Machaca. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Buenas tardes, señor. Yo soy el juez Eric Morrow. Atendiendo la lista de casos estatales de trámite rápido y estamos conduciendo esta audiencia a través de video. ¿Está de acuerdo con que continuemos su caso de esta manera? Yes.
You have been charged with battery family violence.
Usted tiene un cargo por golpes y lesiones, violencia familiar.
Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
¿Hay antecedentes, señora Roberts?
Judge, I missed the name. What's the position number?
Number 14, Mr. Machaca.
First arrest.
Este es el primer arresto.
Who's presenting for the state?
¿Quién está representando a la fiscalía?
ASU Pierre Thomas, Your Honor.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Pierre Thomas.
Your Honor, the
Señor
facts
Thomas.
of the case are that officers were dispatched to the incident location 225 Old Holcomb Bridge Way in Roswell, Georgia.
Los hechos de esta situación fue que la policía se envió al 225 de Old Holcomb Bridge Way en Roswell, Georgia.
While there, they made contact with the victim, Miss Iris Ramirez.
Mientras estuvieron ahí, tuvieron contacto con la víctima, Iris Ramírez.
She advised that her and her husband, the defendant, had begun arguing.
Ella informó que el acusado, que su esposo y ella habían estado discutiendo.
During the argument, she attempted to leave the residence.
Y mientras tanto, ella trató de irse de la casa.
And the defendant followed her and struck her across the left side of her cheek.
Y el acusado la siguió y la golpeó en el lado izquierdo de su mejilla.
She was able to run to the neighbor's house and alert the police.
Ella pudo correr a la casa de los vecinos y llamar a la policía.
Officers observed redness and some swelling to the victim's left side of her face.
Los oficiales pudieron observar enrojecimiento en el lado izquierdo de la cara de la víctima.
And photos were taken.
I'm sorry, sir.
Photos were taken.
Oh, se tomaron fotografías.
The victim also advised that the argument took place over the defendant's drinking the night prior.
La víctima también declaró que la discusión se basaba debido a que el acusado había estado bebiendo la noche anterior.
Your Honor, the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a stay away from the incident location, no contact with the victim, and a family violence intervention program.
Lo que recomienda la fiscalía es que es una fianza bajo firma a través de los servicios previos al juicio, que quede prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas, que no se mantenga distanciado de la residencia y no tener ningún contacto con la víctima. También que tome un curso de recapacitación en la violencia familiar.
Your Honor, if at this time we could sound for the victim, Miss Iris Ramirez, traditional spelling.
Podemos llamar ahora a la víctima Iris Ramírez. Se encuentra en la plataforma. Iris Ramírez, señora Ramírez.
If Ms. Ramirez is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so.
Si la señora Ramírez está en la plataforma, en la línea, pues esta es la oportunidad de hablar conmigo el juez.
Doesn't appear so, Mr. Pierre Thomas.
Nothing
Parece
further
que
from the state in that case, Your Honor.
Nada entonces, su señoría, de parte de la fiscalía.
Mr. Pierre Thomas, has your office had the opportunity to speak with Ms. Ramirez?
No, Your Honor, as there was no number listed on the warrant, but we have attempted through several search mechanisms, but no results have come up for the victim, Your Honor.
¿Se han podido comunicar con la víctima? No hemos tenido el número de teléfono, pero a través de buscadores electrónicos tratamos de llamarla también sin éxito.
Ms. Kim?
Your Honor, my client is 18 years old.
Mi cliente tiene 18 años, su señoría.
And this is his first arrest ever.
Y este es su primer arresto en su vida.
He's still pursuing his GED.
Él está tratando de obtener su GED
while he's working as a painter.
mientras trabaja pintando.
We would like to request for, I mean, we have no objection to signature on bond, but we would like to request for no further violent contact so he can return home.
Sí, pedimos una fianza bajo firma y que no tenga más contacto violento, que se ordene una orden de no más contacto violento para que pueda volver a la casa.
His name is on the lease.
El nombre de él está en el contrato de arrendamiento.
If the Iris Ramirez leaves the premises, I would like to make sure that my client can return home.
Si Iris Ramírez puede irse de la casa, quiero asegurarme que él pueda volver a su residencia.
If the pretrial service needs a co-signer, he has a cousin who can co-sign as well.
Si los servicios anticipados al juicio necesitan un cofirmante, él tiene un primo que está dispuesto a firmar.
No further.
Nada más.
It's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Nope.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, 1,000?
$3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Ms. Ramirez. Stay away from the Holcomb Bridge Way address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Le otorgo una fianza no monetaria bajo firma de $3,000 a través de la cárcel. La orden, emitiré una orden de no tener más contacto con la señora Ramírez, una orden que se mantenga alejado de la dirección de Holcomb Bridge Way en Roswell, y solamente puede regresar a la residencia escoltado con un oficial de policía para retirar sus pertenencias personales. Queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas.
Talk to you, Mr. Machaca.
Buena suerte, señor Machaca.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Okay, did we need, Madam Interpreter? I had a note that position number 18 needed an interpreter. Is that correct or not, Ms. Kim?
Your Honor, actually, I need an interpreter for Del Cruz Bohe.
De la Cruz?
Yes.
What position is that?
I'm trying to find it, Your Honor. I apologize.
So what? Yeah.
Hold on, please.
Luis de la Cruz.
We can do him next, position 6.
Yes, number 6.
Okay,
Position
have
number 6.
you already spoken with him, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And just for my knowledge, does position number 18 need an interpreter?
I believe so, but
Is that your case, Ms. Kim?
yes, Your Honor, that is my case.
Okay.
However, I didn't have to have an interpreter, Your Honor.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure. I thought that
For position 18, we do not need an interpreter, Judge Morrow.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And Mr. De La Rosa understands English, but I am here to assist Ms. Kim.
Just in case.
Okay,
Just in case.
so would you like it to be totally interpreted, or only if he doesn't understand something?
Only if he doesn't understand some, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Good afternoon, Mr. De La Cruz Bahena. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Did you understand me, sir?
Yes.
Okay,
Your
so
Honor.
we're doing this by video. Is that okay with you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have been charged in case 23 CR 005740Y with simple assault, family violence, and disorderly conduct. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
Yes, I show 6 cycles. His last arrest was October of 2021 for forgery, driving without a valid license, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. That was a first offender and it was sealed. I do believe he may have another open case out of Fulton County. I'm showing a false imprisonment and a contributing to the delinquency of a minor along with simple assault and giving false name. Give me 1 moment to get that case number.
Mr. Pierre Thomas.
One of the facts of the case is that the officers were dispatched to a domestic call at the location of 100479 Alpharetta Street, Roswell, Georgia. I'm sorry, they were dispatched to 875 Roswell Creek Lane. The incident location was in fact 10479 Alpharetta Street, Roswell. Officers arrived and they spoke with the victim, Miss Maritza, Maritza, Bahina, Bahena, Basilio, Basilio. She advised that earlier that day at approximately 6:30 p.m., her son, the defendant, was at the ice cream shop located at the 10479 Alpharetta Street incident location. She also advised that her son began to yell at her and progressively got angrier due to money issues that he was having since he was unemployed. She advised that he began throwing things off the counter and began threatening her and backing her into a corner of the store. She advised that her son left the location and returned to the home, which is the 875 Roswell Creek Lane apartment B location where officers eventually were dispatched to. She said that she called the police because she was scared that her son was going to harm her if she were to go inside the home. Your Honor, the recommendation from the state at this time is a signature bond through the jail, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a stay away from that incident location. Again, because of the confusion, the incident location was 10479 Alpharetta Street, Roswell, a no contact and a one anger awareness course. At this time, we were not able to get in contact with the victim, again, Miss Maritza Basilio, but we would like to sound for her at this time.
If Miss Maritza Bahena Basilio is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Would you make that announcement also in Spanish, Miss Chancey?
Yes, la señora Maritza Bahena. I'm sorry, I forgot the last name. Maritza Bahena
Basilio.
Basilio, está en la plataforma. Por favor, prenda su cámara si está en la plataforma para hablar con el juez.
Okay, doesn't appear so. Thank you. Ms. Kim?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, it's going to be for the simple assault, family violence, a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. For the disorderly conduct, a $1,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with the alleged victim, Ms. Basilio. Stay away from the Alpharetta, well, I guess it's the Roswell Creek Lane address. Does he need to go back to that address, Ms. Kim, to retrieve any belongings?
Your Honor, the Roswell Creek address is actually my client's residency, and it is Alpharetta 10479, which is a business ice cream shop, is a place that we need to stay away from.
Your Honor, respectfully, I think we may need to stay away from both of the locations. I believe that they may live together.
I don't think that they live together, Your Honor. I would like to double check with Mr. Deck Cruz Jafahey. Do you live with your mother? I don't think so, but I just want to double check.
¿Vive usted con su madre, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
Oops, never mind.
So
Okay.
I respectfully request to stay away from both locations.
Okay.
apologize.
So if that's the case, stay away from the Roswell Creek Lane address and the Alpharetta Street address. He can go back to the Roswell Creek Lane address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Judge, what was the bond amount?
It's 2,000 signature bond through the jail for the simple assault, $1,000 signature bond through the jail for the disorderly conduct, for a total of a $3,000 signature through the jail.
Thank you.
Thank
I
All right.
apologize, Judge Morrow. Thank you, but can you put both of them in there?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you done, Dela Cruz.
Yep.
Position 26, where?
May the interpreter be dismissed, Your Honor?
Oh, yes. If we
Thank
don't
you.
need Madam Interpreter any further this afternoon, I'm going to dismiss her. So thank you. We appreciate your assistance as always.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a good evening.
You do the same. I'm sorry, tell me again who we have in courtroom 2.
Mr. Ware, position 26.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ware. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Correct.
Thank you, Mr. Ware. You've been charged in case 23 CR 005756G with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
83 cycles. Last arrest was May of 2020 for battery. 6 criminal trespass convictions, a burglary conviction in 96, cell controlled substance conviction in 98, forgery in 99, theft by receiving stolen property 99 and 2006, theft by shoplifting 2011, misdemeanor CWAC 2010, and then disorderly conduct 2016. And nothing further.
Mr. Pierre Thomas?
The facts of this case is that officers were dispatched to 800 Cherokee Avenue, Southeast Atlanta, Georgia, in Fulton County on September 23rd, 2023. Upon arrival, they met with Mr. Kelvin Tremblay, a security guard for Zoo Atlanta, who stated that the defendant had a criminal trespass already against him for being on the premises. Mr. Tremblay, Tramble, stated that he advised Mr. Ware to leave, but Mr. Ware ignored his request. Your Honor, the recommendation from the state at this time is a signature bond through the jail and a stay away from the incident location and a drug and alcohol evaluation and treatment as necessary.
Is your client residentially challenged, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. That's why we actually recommended him to PAD. I believe PAD representative was here, Ms. Aris Monterio, and they accepted him to that program, Your Honor.
Okay. So it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, stay away from Zoo Atlanta, and participate in the PAD program. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Ware. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Hold on, Mr. Ware.
I didn't agree to participate in no pad, whatever that is.
Please, Mr. Ware, if you have any question, please call me. You have no reason to talk about this.
Well, I think he may have pardon me, Ms. Kim, he's stating that he's not agreeing to it. Neither myself nor any representative from PAD has spoken to Mr. Ware.
Is it what it is, Mr. Ware?
Yeah, I don't know what y'all thought. I'm not agreeing to it.
And I talked and you said you were consenting, but I'll give you a call and I'll talk to you again. May I please have another conversation with him, Your Honor?
Of course. Well, if Ms. Patterson says that she hasn't interviewed him yet,
Absolutely.
It was my understanding that before I made that he was accepted, but okay, you can talk to him, Ms. Kim.
Yes, you are.
I hadn't agreed to anything.
All right, go ahead and have a seat for me over there, Mr. Ware. Ms. Kim, you're gonna give him a call?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, I will.
What was the bond amount, Judge?
A $2,000 signature bond through the jail.
Your Honor, may I make an announcement on Brandon Denton?
Yes, ma'am.
So we did have a chance to speak with Ms. Patterson. Mr. Denton was accepted into PAD. To that end, I am filing an amended bond order. We tend to have better luck when it's in the form of an amended bond order that we file that Your Honor would sign. We're asking that the that the pretrial services bond be changed to a jail bond. I know that Your Honor ordered $2,000 per charge. We'd ask that that be an SOB through the jail. We also place in the amended bond order that the defendant shall be released to any PAD representative on Wednesday, September 26th at 9 a.m., as well as the no further contact and stay away provisions. So with Your Honor's consent, I would like to send that to Miss Grace for your signature and Miss Abden so she can review it as well and just sign off on the order.
I apologize. I'm the case, the litigation.
Oh, my apologies, Miss Strong.
And I'm sorry, Ms. Falk. What are you sending? Because I just, I don't know if it's something that the judge needs to sign, but I just need to know what I need to change on the actual bond order.
No, it's an amended bond order. Mr. Howard and I had kind of collaborated on an amended bond order when there are PAD referred cases. We tend to have better luck when it's an amended bond order that lays everything out as opposed to the standard bond order.
Okay.
Just so
I'm sorry, Judge. I didn't mean to cut you off. So I still need to put it on the regular bond order of whatever it is. So that's what I just want to make sure. It can follow yours. I just want to make sure that the jail has what they need to first, and then so everything kind of matches so there won't be any problems. I apologize, Judge Morrow.
No, you don't have to apologize, Ms. Strong. I need to figure out also, Ms. Falk, you said that he is going to report Wednesday, September 26th. So
no, Your Honor, not that he's going to report. He's going to be released to a PAD representative at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, September 26th.
So
PAD has actually requested that he be released directly to PAD so that it just makes it easier for them to keep up with him rather than just be released and report at an unknown date.
Okay, and you agreed to this, Ms. Abden?
Yes, Your Honor. It's my understanding that he was accepted into the program and consented, so he will be released to PAD. I do consent to that.
Okay, so but instead of being released today and being out of jail on a Monday, you requiring him to be in jail until Wednesday?
Oh, I apologize.
Actually,
I think my days got mixed up. Tuesday, September 26th.
That's what I thought you said.
Yeah, I'm already hoping it's a Tuesday. So Tuesday, September 26th, not Wednesday. My apologies.
Okay, all right, that's what was confusing me. Okay, all right, so that's fine with me, Ms. Falk and Ms. Abden.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Excuse me, Judge Morrow, for the battery charge. I saw that there's a battery charge on his 3 card.
Okay.
Which case are we talking about,
Sorry, for position
Francois?
26, Mr. Ware.
Say it again?
For position 26, Mr. Ware.
Okay, I only have a criminal trespass. Does Mr. Ware have an additional charge?
Yeah, it shows it on his 3 cards, so evidently it's probably NOD.
Well, I want to make sure that it's NOD'd so that he doesn't have to stay in jail. Has that been Mr. Pierre Thomas? Do you have that charge?
Your Honor, on my end, I did not see it. That's why I did not make that announcement. I can do some further investigation, but I didn't see it on my end, unfortunately.
It shows on the 3 cards, he has a battery charge. Mr. Ware, you have to lower your voice. We're still in court. The battery charge shows for $1,000.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Falk.
That is a rearrest on case 20 CR 0039995G. So the defendant will have to address that at the next SAP calendar. I can ask that they put him on in the soonest SAP calendar possible, but that is a rearrest from a previous bench warrant that is not part of a new charge.
Okay.
And I can give you that number again if you need it.
I just want to make sure that he gets on on an SAP calendar as soon as possible then.
I will send an email out right now, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Falk. All right, thank you, Francois. I appreciate you bringing that to the court's attention.
You're welcome, Judge. We can do position 13, Mr. Lawson. Come on, Mr. Lawson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lawson. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Counter that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Lawson, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005745E with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
51 cycles. Last arrest was September 15th of this month for criminal trespass. He appears to have that was with Atlanta Municipal Court. He appears to have an open DeKalb criminal trespass from this year, along with the open Clayton County criminal trespass from this year. Possession of marijuana less than an ounce convictions, 2011, 2013. And then I counted a total of 13 criminal trespass convictions from 2011 to 2023. And 2 of those convictions were this year and nothing further.
Okay. Ms. Falk?
Just to clarify, pretrial, is he recommended?
No.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident happened September 24th, 2023 at the East Point MARTA station at 2848 Main Street in East Point. Officers observed the defendant putting a green leafy substance inside of a brown cigar paper in plain view. They further investigated and found that the defendant had a permanent ban from all of MARTA premises. The permanent ban was issued on March 8th, 2023 and was effective immediately. We are requesting a signature bond through, and I understand he is not recommended, but we are requesting a signature bond through pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, that he stay away from all MARTA stations since he does have that permanent ban in place since March of 2023. We're also asking for, if I did not say this already, and I apologize if I'm repeating myself, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. The defendant was issued a $2,500 surety bond, so that is a reduction from that $2,500 surety bond to a signature bond. We are also requesting, and we also wanted to put on the record that the state did NOD the possession of marijuana less than an ounce charge, which is why it did not appear on the calendar.
Thank you, Ms. Falk. Ms. Abden?
Thank you, Your Honor. My client's 44 years old. He's currently residentially challenged. There are some MH concerns. He did not meet the eligibility for any programs. I did connect him with one of our social workers. And I am requesting that the signature bond be through the jail, simply due to the fact that I'm not so sure he would be able to comply with the reporting due to his housing instability. And I'm really hoping that the social workers can help him out with that.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Abden. It'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, a social worker visit to assist him with finding somewhere to reside, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond, and stay away from all MARTA locations as he is permanently banned from MARTA. Good luck to you, Mr. Lawson.
Position number 24, Stone. I'm not sure if Ms. Kim is available. I'm not sure if he's talking.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm available. Yes.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Stone. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Mr. Stone, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005761C with simple battery family violence. Is there a history?
10 cycles. Last arrest was from September of 2022 for simple battery family violence. I did not see a disposition for that case. Conviction from 2013 for criminal trespass and theft by receiving stolen property. Nothing further.
The 2022, does it say where that's pending?
Give me one moment. That case, Atlanta Police Department. So I can look in Odyssey to see.
Your
if
Honor,
there's a-
I think it's associated with 22 CR 00649-2B, and it was a dismissal.
Thank you.
Mr. Pierre Thomas. Yes, you can proceed.
Your Honor, the facts of this case is that it appears that officers responded to a domestic dispute call, a 911 call at the incident location, that incident location being 3000 Stone Hogan, CONN, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30331. The victim advised that a verbal dispute with the father of her 3 kids took place. The two lived, she also advised the two have lived together for the past 2 years. The victim also advised that she was sitting on the couch and the defendant came from behind her and pulled her hair. Officer was able to observe the victim's hair, which appeared to be pulled due to it being in an upward position. Your Honor, the state is at this time requesting a signature bond through the pretrial services and ankle monitoring. A no contact with the victim. The victim in this case is Kimberly Butler, traditional spelling. A stay away from the incident location, that 3000 Stone location, and a no alcohol, drugs and weapons provision, as well as family violence intervention program completion. Your Honor, at this time, if we can sound for the victim, as we were able to get in contact with the victim today.
Can you give me your name, please?
It's Kimberly Butler, Your Honor.
Okay. If Ms. Butler is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Is this Ms. Butler on the iPhone? Yes, ma'am. You have to unmute yourself, Ms. Butler. Might be 3 dots at the bottom of your phone that you might have to press on. Or there should be a microphone possibly.
Hey, how are you doing today, Your Honor?
Oh, I'm doing fine, Ms. Butler. Can you raise your right hand? I think the other was the right hand.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the phone.
Okay. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. What would you like to tell me?
So first, I would like to say the incident that occurred on Saturday night was Saturday morning. We officially called the police for him to leave the property. He never touched me, and I have a quick weave in. As you see, I can easily pull this out as well. So this is the same thing that I had on that day. As you see, it can pull off very easily. Like, it don't even have to take a force. But I was not, like I said, I did just call them for that reason, to just escort him off the property for that day.
Okay, do you want him back in the household at the present time?
Yes, we have 4 kids together.
Okay, has this ever happened? Has this ever happened before?
No.
And are you afraid of him?
No.
Can I ask a brief question, Your Honor?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Pierre Thomas.
Miss Butler, you called the police for him to leave the residence?
Yes.
Did you ask for him to leave the residence on his own?
Well, yes, I did actually.
He refused?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He necessarily didn't refuse. He was saying that he was going out or whatever. He did walk out, but by the time he walked out, the police was coming down.
And was
so
alcohol?
He was trying to leave the scene. He was trying to leave.
And was alcohol involved?
Yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Butler. I appreciate you being here this afternoon.
Thank you.
Ms. Kim, anything further?
We would like to, yes, Your Honor. We would like to request a no further violent contact, and I don't think it is necessary to have an ankle monitoring. No objection to signature on bond. Thank you.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1 day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Butler, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Stone, and you also. Ms. Butler.
I can't go back home.
Please,
No,
I'll explain.
Yeah, you can go. No further violent contact.
Oh,
Mr.
I
Stone.
go back home, but it's no point. Oh, do I gotta take a break? I gotta go to ankle
Please,
bracelet.
no. Give me a call if you have any question. Okay.
Ask somebody the ankle bracelet. Do I gotta get ankle bracelet?
No ankle bracelet, Mr. Stone.
Poland. That was 2000, this would be the pretrial, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you. Position 23, Mr. Spett.
Good afternoon, Mr. Stepp. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Stepp, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005754J with simple battery. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
Just stepped away for the moment. What's the position number?
23, Mr. Stepp.
Give me a second. I don't think I have this person on my full sheet.
Okay, Mr. Pierre Thomas.
Your Honor, the facts of the case is that an officer was radioed from a radio call from a field protective specialist Stacy Thompson, from the incident location. That's Underground Martyr, I believe, 30 Alabama Street Southwest 30303, Atlanta, Georgia. The victim advised that she was intentionally grabbed by her left wrist by a black male who was later identified to be the defendant. The victim also advised that the pulling caused her wrist to bend. The recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services and ankle monitoring, no contact with the victim. No alcohols, drugs, or weapons. And that's it, Your Honor.
The alleged victim's name?
The alleged victim is Stacy Thompson. At this time, if we could sound for her.
If Ms. Stacy Thompson is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear so. Do you have that history for me yet, Ms. Roberts?
Yes. I show 18 cycles. The last arrest was in 2021 for a theft by shoplifting in Greensboro. There is no disposition listed for that case. A 2015 disorderly conduct and willful obstruction conviction, a 2009 battery, family violence, and reckless conduct conviction, and then a 2007 conviction for giving false name, and nothing further.
Okay. Ms. Kim, if it's all right with you, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Stacy Thompson, stay away, abide by any MARTA suspensions, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Good luck to you, Mr. Stepp.
Excuse me, Judge, did you say 1-day anger awareness?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We have courtroom 2.
Position 25, Mr. Triggs.
Good afternoon, Mr. Triggs. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Triggs, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005755D with battery, family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
Yes, 5 cycles. Last arrest was from July of 2021 out of Mississippi for simple domestic violence. There was no disposition listed on that case. A 2020 cruelty to animals conviction out of North Carolina, and nothing further.
Thomas.
Brief facts is the officers were dispatched to the incident location, that incident location being 3390 Fairburn Road, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. In reference to a person injured in a domestic dispute call, the officers made contact with the defendant, who advised that he and the victim had lived together for 4 months and had been dating since January 2023. The defendant advised that an argument broke out and the defendant pushed the victim off of him. Officers spoke to the reporting party, a third party, Ms. Lanier McGrone, who advised that the defendant had been physically and verbally abusive towards her sister. She advised that on the date of the incident, that date being September 24, 2023, the victim advised her that the defendant had put his hands on her again, and that the sister, the third party, drove all the way from a location in Stockbridge to check on her sister and saw 3 knots on the victim's forehead and a bleeding nose. So she called the Atlanta Police Department. The victim spoke with officers where she advised that the defendant put her stuff outside, and while she was trying to get back into the location to grab her internet box from the bedroom, the defendant got mad and pushed her to the ground and started hitting her like she was a man. The officer noted 3 verbal knots on the victim's forehead. The victim also had a white towel in her hand, that was red in color. The officer noted that it was potentially blood. The victim advised that she had used it to clean her bloody nose. Your Honor, the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, ankle monitoring, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact, and a stay away, or the incident location is his home, and a family violence intervention program. Your Honor, our office was actually able to get in contact with the victim, and she added that in addition to the knots on her forehead, she had a swollen nose, a black eye. Your Honor, at this time, I believe she is on the call. I would like to give her the opportunity to speak and be heard. Her name would be Dejanay, Deshaneae, so Deshaneae Bradley, traditional spelling.
I see Ms. Dejanay Bradley is with us. If you wish to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Yes, ma'am, if you will raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. What would you like to tell me, Ms. Bradley?
Honestly, he haven't put his hands on me before then. I just wanted to get my items and it just went left.
Okay, and you don't want to have any contact with him at the present time?
No.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to tell me?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Bradley. Given the recommendation, Ms. Kim, if it's okay with you, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Bradley, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, I just noticed I want to ask the victim, has she had an opportunity to get all of her things from the incident location?
Whatever I don't get, it's okay. It can be replaced.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good luck to you, Ms. Bradley, and you also, Mr. Triggs.
I apologize. What was the dollar amount?
$2,000 signature bond through pretrial.
Thank you.
Okay.
Position 18, Pasha.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pasha. I'm Judge Eric Mara. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Pasha, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005750B with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
3 cycles. Last arrest was June of last year out of Henry County for a probation violation. The underlying charge was driving without a valid license. Nothing further.
Mr. Pierre Thomas?
Your Honor, the facts of this case is that the defendant, being the primary aggressor, is said to have struck the victim several times in the face and torso with a closed fist. The primary aggressor status was determined as the officer noted that the physical violence occurred only after the victim was not engaging in a verbal argument with I'm sorry, and was not engaging in the verbal argument with the defendant. During that time is when he struck the defendant. The defendant was speaking negatively. The argument is said to have happened because the defendant was speaking negatively of the victim's mother. A separate witness observed the defendant striking the victim in the head and the victim asking the defendant to stop. Your Honor, the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapon, no contact with the victim or witness, and a stay away from the incident location. The incident location is listed as 1001 Johnson Ferry Road, Sandy Springs, Georgia, and a completion of a family violence intervention program. Your Honor, the victim in this case is Ruth Parks, traditional spelling, and at this time we could sound from Ms. Parks as our office was not able to get in contact with her.
If Ms. Parks is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear so, Mr. Pierre Thomas. Ms. Kim?
We have no objection, Your Honor, about the signature on bond. There's a Henrique County hold. So we want him to be released to Henrique County, signature on bond through jail. That's about it, Your Honor. We have no objection to no further contact. Thank you.
Okay, well, he's going to go through pretrial. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Ruth Parks, stay away from the Johnson Ferry Road address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapon while out on bond. I see a Fahima Pasha on the line. Is that in regards to this case? You're on mute, ma'am, if you're trying to address the court.
I said I just saw that I was invited to it. I got a text message. So
Okay,
I'm his mother. I'm his mother.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Parsh. Yeah. Yes, he's gotten a signature bond in the matter, and he's will be released to the hold that he has.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. You have a good day, ma'am.
You do the same. Bye-bye.
Thank you. And you also, Mr. Fahim Pasha.
Position 7, Denton.
I'm sorry, I thought we already addressed Denton.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we sure did. Okay. Position 12, Mr. Harper. Come on, Mr. Harper. Yeah. Yeah. Why didn't you tell me you did your case? I'm glad.
You weren't happy with what he got, Francois?
And he didn't even tell me either, Jeff. But this is position 12, Mr. Harper.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Harper. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Harper, you've been charged in case 23 CR 005762Y with public drunk, terroristic threats and acts, criminal trespass, and 2 counts of willful obstruction of law enforcement officers. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
48 cycles. Last arrest April of last year for a probation violation. He has an open case, Fulton County for criminal damage to property and public drunkenness, 23 SD 187999. He's currently on probation for possession of cocaine. That case is from 2012, 15 years probation. 2 FTAs, 2018, 2022. A possession of cocaine conviction, 2018. 2 disorderly conduct convictions, both in 2018. Aggravated assault, 2008. Forgery, 2008. A terroristic threats conviction, 2007. Criminal trespass, 2005. Simple battery, 2005. Simple assault, 2004. Willful obstruction, 2003. Possession of a controlled substance, 2002. And a disorderly conduct, 2000. And then a burglary in 86. And nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor. I just wanted to I'm just trying to see his 22 SC case that was stated by pretrial services. I just want to get an indication of whether he entered a guilty plea on that case or not. Oh, that 23 SC 18799 case, just so your honor is aware, the defendant is currently, it is currently in the DA's office. He did receive a $3,500 surety bond on that case, as well as a stay away order. So in our
I'm sorry, Ms. Falk, what was that charge?
It was criminal damage to property in the second degree and public drunk, one of which the charges is one of the charges that we have with him on our case.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
So, Your Honor, this incident happened September 24th, 2023, at the Ashby MARTA station. The officer observed the defendant drinking a high gravity beer and screaming and using profane language. They made contact with him, told him it was illegal to drink in public and illegal to display disorderly behavior while drinking. They continued to ask the defendant to leave the station. He refused. He used profanity, displayed boisterous and aggressive behavior, made threats. He said, "I will F your ass up, B," when they made contact with him to try to escort him out of the station. He then looked back at the officer while they were trying to escort him out and said, "I keep my 9mm at the house. I will blow your effing head off." At this point, he started to walk up the stairs, and they then tried to place him under arrest. He refused to comply with the officer's commands, pulled his hands away, tried to run, and was placed under arrest by the officers eventually. And a GCIC check showed that he was on probation. He had an active suspension, which was effective September 4th, 2023 from the MARTA station, and he is able to resume MARTA on November 3rd, 2023. He now, due to this incident, has a 65-day suspension from November 3rd, 2023 to November 4th of 2024. Given the circumstances, as well as the fact that he is currently out on bond with a public drug offense, we are asking for a signature bond through pretrial services. We are asking for an ankle monitor as part of his conditions. We are also asking that he stay away from from all MARTA stations currently, because the date of his suspension actually carries him through all the way to next year. We are also asking no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and we would request, based on the fact this is his second public drunk case, an ADET as part of the conditions. That's all for the state.
Yes, Ms. Abden.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just for my edification, what is an AD? What did you just say, Ms. Falk?
Alcohol, drug evaluation and treatment.
Thank you. Okay, so my client's 65 years old. We would not object to the signature bond through pretrial, the stay away, but I would object to the ankle monitor. He does have a current address. He is experiencing residential insecurity. I have connected him with services, but he did give me his sister's address where he's receiving mail and stays sometimes. And so I would object to the ankle monitor as well as the evaluation, as we have connected him with a social worker.
Okay, it's going to be for the terroristic threats, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial. For all the other charges will be a $500 signature bond through pretrial. Makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. Stay away from all MARTA locations. A social worker visit to help with housing, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Hartford.
I'm sorry, Judge, I thought, position 10, Gentry.
Well,
Good afternoon. Afternoon, Mr. Gentry. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Gentry. You've been charged in case 23 CR 005743B with battery in a public transit vehicle or station. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
12 cycles. Last arrest was April of this year for a probation violation. He appears to be on probation for criminal attempt to commit a felony, 22 SC 182010. That is from April of this year, 1 year confinement, 9 years probation. He also appears to be on a probation for a CWAC offense that is out of DeKalb County from 2017, 36 months confinement, 7 years probation. And then he had a 2021 conviction for interference with government property and nothing further.
Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened September 10th, 2023 at 4:40 p.m. Officers observed or at least Mr. Richard Pickering, who's the victim in this case, stated he was repeatedly punched and pushed by the defendant into a wall, which resulted in pain and visible abrasions to Mr. Pickering's back while Mr. Pickering was at the Lindbergh MARTA station at 2420 Piedmont Road, Atlanta. Detective Rodriguez had an opportunity to review the MARTA CCTV surveillance footage, and the images were created from that footage, included the defendant, who was recognized from a previous MARTA arrest on August 29th of 2023. Mr. Detective Rodriguez viewed the body camera footage from that incident and was able to identify Mr. Gentry as the individual who was responsible, and a warrant was placed out for his arrest, which he is now here in custody on. We are, if I can just have a moment, we did reach out to the victim on Mr. Gentry's case. We were not able to leave a voicemail, but we did send a text, and we sent a text requesting a call back. So we would like to sound for Mr. Pickering. The state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, stay away from all MARTA stations, no further contact with Richard Pickering. We would also ask for anger awareness as part of the conditions. I'm not quite sure, and just in case Your Honor asked, what the relationship is, if any, between Mr. Pickering and the defendant.
If Mr. Pickering is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Does not appear so, Ms. Falk. Ms. Abden?
Thank you, Your Honor. And just to answer that question, it's my understanding that the complaining witness and my client don't know each other. Without going too much into the facts, he was on a MARTA train. His girlfriend works for MARTA, and this individual was he was protecting his girlfriend from this person. And so that is what he tells me. So he does deny these allegations. He has two jobs. He's gainfully employed, and he did tell me that he is on non-active, non-reporting status for the probation. I wasn't able to confirm that, but I just wanted to make the court aware. And I am requesting a signature bond. I'm requesting that be through the jail, and that is all.
It's going to be a $3,000 bond through pre-trial, 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Richard Pickering, abide by any active MARTA suspensions, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Gentry. Did we lose the courtroom?
I apologize, Judge Morrow. Your phone, it was 3,000, correct?
Yes, $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, but did we lose the courtroom? I'm sorry. I think we lost the courtroom, so I'll have to. We had a few waivers. Do you all want to go ahead and do the waivers while we see if we can get back in touch with the courtroom? Is that okay with everyone?
Your Honor. Well, before we do the waivers, I just wanted to go back to Miss Celestine George. I was able to check her prior case for the law enforcement escort condition. It was not on the bond order, so I am requesting that on this one, if that is okay.
Miss Abden, Celestine George, let me go back and look. I went back and looked at it while we were in court, and I'm pretty sure it's on there.
It's
I
not.
could be wrong.
It's not on the initial one, Ms. Falk. I apologize.
Thank you.
It's not on the initial one. It's on the one that they did the UJR and MMC. So
Right.
on the one where he was in, when she was on the this calendar, it's not on the order.
No, I recognize it's not on this order. I was referring to her last order, which did in fact has as a condition that she that I thought had as a condition on the order for release on 9/14/2023.
On the one from
reading it directly, it says may return one time with officer to get her belongings.
It's on that one. I didn't know if she was addressing the one prior to when she was in this court. It's not on that order.
I am, and I don't have access to the following one. So thank you for clarifying that, Ms. Falk. I'm sorry.
I can, no problem. And I can go ahead and email that one to you.
Thank you.
Okay. I have a waiver for position number 15, Marshall. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Would you all like to proceed and do that case?
Yeah, Your Honor. I'm ready.
Okay. Is there a history?
22 cycles, last arrest, May of 2022 for 2 counts of terrorist threats. 4 FTAs, 2 in 2020, 18 and 16. 2020 conviction for 4 counts of disorderly conduct. And then a 2006 forgery out of Alabama and a 2012 obstruction of police out of Alabama. Nothing further.
Mr. Pierre Thomas?
Yeah, brief facts. Officers were dispatched to the location, that location being 90 Ellis Street, Northeast Atlanta, Georgia, 30303. That location is actually universal parking, a garage. Officers spoke with Mr. Willie Heidenberg, who is the maintenance worker, who advised that the defendant was sleeping in the garage. He advised the defendant was laying down in a carpeted hallway. He also advised that the defendant was given a criminal trespass warning from the Atlanta Police Department on September 21st, 2023. Your Honor, with that said, Your Honor, the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the jail and stay away from that incident location. Nothing further to add from the state, Your Honor.
So $1,000 signature bond through the jail, stay away from universal parking, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Abden?
It does, Your Honor. Thank you. I do understand that he was recommended for PAD, but they're unable to speak with him. I think he's elsewhere due to, I think he has something going on with his eye. So it's my understanding he may want to be connected with services, but I will let PAD he's released.
Okay, so for now, that'll be the ruling.
Thank you.
All right, position 16, Martin. Does Mr. I'm not sure if it's a man or a woman. Do they have a history?
2 cycles. 2 cycles, with the last arrest being in 2020 for theft by shoplifting. That case had no disposition.
Okay, Mr. Pierre Thomas. Oh, we're back. Give us a moment. And so this is, you're back courtroom 2?
Yes, Judge, our computer had went out, so.
Okay.
Log back in.
All right, tell me the number again. Where were we here?
Position 10, Mr. Gentry.
Okay, I was going through his bond order, so let me just say that so you all know it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, stay, abide by any active mortar suspensions, no further contact with Mr. Pickering, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you, Mr. Gentry.
Thank you.
And Judge, I do have a couple of announcements as far as waive of appearance, or do you already have that?
I think I have that. We've done position 15. We're doing position 16 now, and then position 20 Riles. Are those all of them?
Yes, position 15, 16, and you said, what was okay, so for position 15, what is?
No, Your Honor, I'm sorry. There's position 3 as well. I filed a waiver.
Oh, okay. So we've done position 15, and that's the $1,000 signature bond through the jail.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And that was
And
the only one you did, Judge?
Yeah, that's the only one. We're on position 16, Martin, at the present time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, who was presenting?
Your Honor, ASG Pierre Thomas, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Thomas.
Your Honor, the facts of the case is that officers responded on September 22nd, 2023, to a fight at the incident location of 1043 Cleveland Avenue, East Point, Georgia, 30344. Officers were able to speak with the victim, who advised that his ex-girlfriend, the defendant, who he had not spoken to in months, arrived at a location and requested that he come outside to speak. He agreed to step outside. He stepped outside. While outside, the defendant began to argue with the victim, and the victim stepped away, at which point the defendant began striking the victim several times with a closed fist, leaving a laceration on his forehead. Officer spoke with the defendant, who admitted to the statements made by the victim. The victim in this case is Mr. James Todd, T-O-D-D, last name. The recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, a stay away from the incident location, and a no contact with the victim, and a family violence intervention program. At this time, if we could sound for Mr. James, traditional spelling Todd, as our office was not able to get in contact with him, I don't believe.
Is Mr. Todd is on the line. Now is your opportunity to address the court. Doesn't appear so, Mr. Pierre Thomas. Ms. Kim?
We have no objection except for the intervention clause. Other than that, no objection.
Okay, so it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with James Todd, stay away from the Cleveland Avenue address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay. Position 20, Veronica Riles. Does Ms. Riles have a history?
Your
18
Honor,
cycle.
I apologize, but I just have to make sure that she has third-party transfer for 6-year-old child.
And that was for the last case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Third-party transfer for visitation of any minor children.
Thank you.
Okay. The history for Ms. Riles?
18 cycles. Last arrest was September 1st out of DeKalb County for theft by shoplifting. That case appears to be open. I have to look back at the bond assessment. My computer is freezing up, but she has numerous open cases, including criminal trespassing, theft by shoplifting out of DeKalb and Fulton. She appears to be on probation for criminal trespass, 23 CR 002398D. That is from March of this year, 12 months probation. A simple assault conviction 2019, and then a disorderly conduct conviction 2018. And nothing further at the moment.
Okay, who's presenting for the state? Mr. Pierre Thomas or Ms. Falk?
My apologies, Your Honor. Which case is this?
Position 20, Ms. Riles.
Let me see.
And Judge, that'll be 7 open cases of DeKalb County.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Riles is mine, Your Honor. I apologize. I had marked Ms. Riles off.
Okay.
Error. All right, so on Ms. Riles' case, as Your Honor has already heard, Ms. Riles is charged with theft by shoplifting, as well as obstruction of a law enforcement officer, 2 counts. The state did NOD the remaining charge of simple assault. So we would like to make sure the jail is aware that that charge was NOD'd. This incident happened on September 24th, 2023 at 895 Ralph David Abernathy, which is the CVS. Officers were called out to that location, spoke to Miss China Waits, who stated that the defendant stole several items out of the store that day, and that was the reason for the call. Miss Riles also proceeded to drink multiple bottles of muscle milk while inside the store, and that she spit at Miss Waits when Miss Waits confronted her about taking the items. All of this was captured on surveillance video inside the CVS pharmacy. Ms. Riles was then seen walking out of the store with some of the items. And at that point, Ms. Riles then walked back into the store, knocked several things off the shelf, causing a disturbance, and then left with $125.40 worth of items. Officers then tried to catch up with Ms. Riles, the defendant, who threw some seasoning at one of the officers and spit at another officer, and they were forced to deploy their taser in order to gain compliance from Ms. Riles. The state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial services. We would ask for her to stay away from the CVS at 895 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard in Atlanta, Georgia. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. No further contact with Miss China Waits. And I believe that is all we will be requesting at this time, Your Honor.
Any objection to any of that, Ms. Kim?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so for each charge, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial, makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. No further contact with Ms. Waits, stay away from the CVS on Ralph David Abernathy, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, position number 3, Dewad Brimsley. Does Mr. Brimsley have a history?
Yes. Yes, 91 cycles. Last arrest was February 23rd for a CWAC offense, 23 SC 184795. That's an open case. Appears to be on probation for disorderly conduct out of DeKalb County from December of 22. Criminal trespass convictions, a total of 6. A 2005 interim premises conviction, South Carolina. A criminal damage to property conviction, 2007. Forgery conviction, 2008. Ag assault, 2009. Criminal possession of a controlled substance, 2013, South Carolina. Unlawful, knowingly remove and destroy of an electronic monitoring device, 2 convictions in 2018. Simple battery and terrorist threats conviction in 2021. Registry conviction in 2021, South Carolina. Disorderly conduct 2022, and then another disorderly conduct 2023. And nothing further.
Ms. Falk?
Your Honor, the state just needs to inquire with pretrial, if I may. Does Mr. Brimsley, was he granted bond on his 23 CP 221? And let me see if I can see the rest of this case. He should have gone to pretrial to first appearance, felony first appearance this morning on a 23 CP case. Could pretrial just check and let me know if he received a bond on that case? It was aggravated battery and battery.
Yeah. He didn't get a bond today.
He did not?
No, ma'am.
Okay, just wanted to check.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Your Honor, that's 23 CP 222104. This incident happened within the jail. Mr. Brimsley was being checked into 901 Rice Street and was going through the screening process and waiting on medical. He then walked up to Miss Janiyah Bates, who was in the jail as well, and stated, "I hate that bee," and slapped her in the face. Miss Bates stated the defendant walked up to her, said something, and then slapped her in the face. And again, this was witnessed by jail staff. The state is recommending a signature bond through the jail. Stay away from Miss Janiyah Bates. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We are recommending that in large part through the jail as opposed to pretrial due to the fact that the defendant is currently being held on felony charges for which he has no bond.
Any objection to any of that, Ms. McLeod?
Objection.
Okay, $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with Janiyah Bates, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Did you request anything else, Ms. Falk? I'm sorry.
No, just no further
Okay.
contact, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, and
Also, Judge, for position number 27 is going to be a medical reset.
okay, for Whitehead 27, medical reset until 9/26. Okay, and so I think that completes the calendar, is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you. We appreciate everything. Y'all be safe.
Thank you. You too. Real quick, quick question, Judge, for position number 19, what was the bond for that? Position 19, I did miss that one.
19, it was a $1,500 good bond per charge, makes for a $3,000 good bond total.
Thank you.
Okay.
I believe
All
that
right.
was the only good bond. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Judge.
Okay. Y'all have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You too. Be safe.
You too. I see a Jaja on the line. Ms. Jaja, were you here for a case today? Okay, well, actually, I'm not sure if that's if something's going on with her or not. Whenever you're ready, Ms. Strong.
Position number 1 was a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. Position number 2, $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Position number 3 was a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Position number 4 was a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. Position number 5 was a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial. Position number 6 was a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. Position number 7 was a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Position number 8, $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. Position number 9 was a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. Position number 10, $3,000 signature bond through pretrial per judge. Position number 11 was a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Position number 12 was a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial per judge. Position number 13 and 14, both are signature bonds through the jail. Position number 13 was a $2,000 signature bond. Position number 14 was a $3,000 signature bond. Position number 15 was a $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Position number 16, $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. Position number 17, $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. Position number 18 was also a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. Position number 19 was a $3,000 good bond reset for SAP, October the 10th. Position number 20 was a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. Position 21, $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Position 22, $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. Position 23 and 24, but both $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. Position 25, $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. 26, $2,000 signature bond through jail. Position 27 is reset for tomorrow. Position number 28 was a $1,000 signature bond through the jail. And position 29 was a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. Oh, I have a question. Was for Mr. Step, was he on a no further contact or a no further violent contact? Position number 23.
Further violent contact.
Thank you.
Okay, if no questions or concerns, thank you all. We appreciate it. We will.
I'm sorry, I do have a quick question for position
Okay.
7. I have it through pretrial. Was it through the jail or was it through pretrial for position 7?
Was it not through?
I have.
Jail.
It's through the jail.
Did I say pretrial? I'm a.
No, you're good,
You
Ms.
said jail.
That was me.
Oh, okay.
All right, through the jail. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions? Not, we'll see you next time. Ms. Falk?
No, no further questions.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank
All right. See y'all next time.